welcome to We Women Want. This is our weekly show where we focus on women's issues, we celebrate the wins, and we also try and find solutions for those who need us. The topics range from domestic violence to work-life balance to acid attack victims to health issues from menopause to breast cancer, and also I think negotiating relationships. In fact, that's been one of our most fun conversations whenever we talk about relationships. At whatever demography, whatever age group, that is something that holds a lot of interest, and we get a lot of views from the men also who want to figure out what women are thinking. So today I'm going to be talking to a panel which is, we are I think I'm part of that, women in our, I guess, late 40s, 50s. So we are a generation who's watching this Gen Alpha coming up, Gen Z, trying to figure out what they are talking about. And also we've seen our mothers in the more traditional setup. I think we can call ourselves the baby boomers, or we can call ourselves the sandwich generation. But what is our take on life, work-life balance, relationships, and how do we see what's happening around us? Joining me on the show is Namita Kohli. She's an interior designer and the co-founder at Visma Atria Interiors. Shalini Singh, she's a founder of And We Met, which is a space for singles above 25 years and above, 28 years and above. And Dr. Sonali Joshi Kashyap, she's the dentist who was, she's actually very interested. She left the National School of Design to take up dentistry. She joined the Indian Army, and then I think she left the uniform, I think after marriage, and now she's running her own dentist setup. So, but I'll begin with you, Namita, and also all of us are really working women. So the work-life balance is something we are dealing with on an everyday basis. In terms of, a little bit first about yourself, what you do and what...
So I've been practicing interiors for now almost 40 years, and it started off with a small business with a carpenter and me, and it's now grown. We do full turnkey interiors and we manufacture. We also represent about 20 European brands pan-India.
Oh, wow. And yours is, I think, furniture, but you also design the space.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. So we do complete turnkey projects, which means we take on the project from the time of inception and to create the design, to figure out how the layout of the rooms needs to be, what is the lighting, what is the ceiling plans, the flooring, all of that, right up to the last cushion that needs to go into the home.
And this is something you knew you wanted to do from college?
Actually not. I studied English literature in college, and I came out from college thinking that I always wanted to continue playing basketball. I didn't think that I was going to work at all. I worked for a year with my dad, and that unfortunately didn't work out too well for me. It was an industry that was very, very old at that time. It was in the aerospace industry. It was a very old industry. There were only older men. There were very few young women there. And so I didn't really enjoy it. I met, a cousin of my dad's who actually was like a counselor to me. And he asked me, what do you enjoy doing? And, way through conversation, he said, have you thought of interiors? And then I said, no, that sounds fantastic. And he said, and I worked in a company in the UK for about 9 months, manufacturing kitchens. So I actually worked on the shop floor, on CNC machines, putting kitchens together in people's homes. And that's how I started.
And picking up the hammer when needed.
Absolutely.
I think basketball must have helped on that. So you actually went to a man's field also.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Literally working on the ground. Shalini, you run it's a space for the people.
It's a matchmaking. So I call it a community for singles 28, 29, 30 and above. Those looking for a long-term relationship, be it marriage, be it live-in, or be it companionship. I built it for a couple of reasons. One reason is that in India, the woman, the moment she turns 28, there's a lot of pressure on her to find a partner by the family. And I think when there's a lot of pressure, you tend to make a wrong judgment. And so I wanted to let single women know that there is a space where you can come and take your time in finding your person. There needs to be no hurry. That was one reason. And the second reason was that I was seeing that there was a lot of distrust on the way online matchmaking was being, with the swipe thing, you just decide on a photograph, swipe. So what we are building with And We Met is curiosity it's more curiosity driven. In fact, we've just introduced videos. We didn't have it for a year. We had no photographs, and we have 156 singles who've met on And We Met without any photographs. I wanted to test it out, and it's been pretty. It's been pretty successful. So yeah.
And what age are these singles who didn't
Who
want photographs?
met their they have from 28 to 65. So we've had and I work full time on this, and I manage family, and I manage extended relationships and friends, and I do all of it. And I'm not a superwoman.
No, you're a woman. Women are super. Shalini, tell us, about yourself, and because I mean, yours has been designed to dentistry. That's and the army.
Yeah. So I think in somewhere down the childhood, I knew that I was an artist, as in I was very creative in school, and I was very good in my studies also. But I always dreamt of being a designer for some reason. Then, of course, I got through the NID and everything. But my mom somewhere wanted me to be a doctor. But it so happened that I was in the waiting list.
And we are a generation that listens to moms.
Yeah. And that generation, it was like that, no? Either it was a doctor or an engineer. There was no other profession in those days. I'm talking about late 80s. So, any which ways, I got this admission in the dental college in Srinagar. Of course, the wrong time. There was a lot of riots going on that time. And we got in, left the design school and got into that. Then I had to go back because the college was burned down those days. Yeah, the Kashmiri, problems. And of course, destiny had some other plans. I was sent to Pune for the same. And now that I look back, dentistry is all artistry. It is nothing but art.
Yeah.
It is all your handwork. And actually, I'm following my passion. And it's just happened. And of course, army happened because I met my husband in Pune only. He was an NDA cadet. So that also is really beautiful. We've known each other for almost now 37 years. We're married for 30 years. Yeah, I have a son. He's 24.
Okay. But that's what I want to ask. Namita has 2 kids and she's married. You're in a relationship. So, I'm also not married. So, I think we are, but we all have some. We want, our generation, do we need that commitment, do you think, a sense of belonging, which I see today's kids, they're quite happy to not be within a, fixed relationship also.
You're absolutely right, Priya. I've seen both my kids through relationships. And I remember when we were younger, and if you had a boyfriend or if you were in a relationship, it was all about being with that particular person or your girlfriend, right? You were with that person. You wanted to spend every waking moment. You wanted to be on the call with them all the time. Today, there's a lot of live and let live. There's a lot of space that they give each other. They don't meet for days on end. They don't have to talk every day. They don't have to talk 8 times in a day. So in a way, maybe they're more secure in themselves. But in a way, there's also, it's a different kind of a relationship that is being built. I can't really put my finger to it. But it's a very different way of building a relationship. Mind you, it doesn't mean that the relationship is any less strong. They see each other through a lot. We actually had a situation in our family where my daughter was not well and my son-in-law stood by her side in a way that I could not even imagine a 30-year-old would have done. So that kind of commitment that they have, but they don't wear their commitments on their sleeve. It's a more understood, organic way. We come between, like you said, between our parents and between our kids. Our kids have taken it to another level. Our parents were still, iske saath relationship bana ke rakhna hai. You have to make sure that whether it's your mother-in-law, your husband, you have to put up with things. You should not discuss certain things. If you keep quiet, things will sort themselves out. At certain places, I know friends of mine have even been told, have a baby, your life will sort out. So, those type of things that we came with was more archaic kind of sensibility. I think today the kids have a very different approach to life.
So whilst I agree with her, and I'd also say that because I'm dealing with or I'm working with singles, in their 30s and 40s. I don't know if it's archaic or what, but the thoughts are still very traditional without them. So whilst some of them work on themselves, what I just say is actually, honestly, Indians don't know how to date if you're talking about relationships, right? And so what's happened is when you meet somebody in your early 20s or in your 20s, you're starting your life together, right? So it's very, very different there. Whilst when you meet somebody in your 30s, you've already led a life. Maybe you've been in relationships, maybe you've been married a couple of times, maybe you've been looking for your person, not realizing, so you're still, even in your 30s, you're still looking at how it was in your 40s. And we have this discussion where, where people say that when we ask, why do you want to be in a relationship? I want to have meaningful conversations with that person. How much time will you, not realizing that it looks good in movies, but in reality, you really don't have time because both of you are busy. You're professionals. So I think that thinking is still there, but I think it's once you find that calmness in your relationship and you find the right person and you find that trust, I think then it doesn't matter. So like, for example, my partner and I, we don't talk, we only, one thing common with us is we both invest in fitness. So 2 hours in a day, we are together, right? But that also, in doing different things, we are going to the gym together, but that's about it. But otherwise, we don't talk for like the whole day. I mean, so people don't, I just know he's a good person and I think I'm an okay person as well. And that's what keeps us going. He could be traveling.
Talking overrated or is communication?
I think communication in any which form, talking is overrated definitely, and communicating is the thing. And how you communicate, as she very rightly said, you don't need to talk every day or every now and then. It should be that bond that you share and that understanding you share. I've known my husband when we were just 20 and 21 maybe, and now it's like 37 years down the line.
And you won't be
We
the
don't
same
need to
person
talk.
as you were also when you were 21.
No, not really. And we both share that understanding, and that which just makes it so much easier for us to understand each other's I would say problems or even a situation, because he has a tough life. He's an army officer. He's still serving, and I have my own challenges on a daily basis. But how we whenever we get together or we talk on the phone, generally on the phone, he hardly gets leave also. But we definitely manage it in a way that it's a very happy space, and that we give each other that space also, to
Space versus communication. I mean, there is.
yeah, there's a little bit of a. So I think what happens is, I don't know about you, I can't say, but I think I see a lot of my friends, my age group, the people I've grown up with. I think difficult conversations is something that people don't have, and you can't communicate that unless you verbalize it. So if you have a difficult, money is a difficult conversation. People don't really talk about those things. Having kids, having an issue if you're living in a joint family, having an issue, how you can explain that you need not, you may not want to be living in a joint family, how you may need to explain that you want to have a baby, or these are things that you have to communicate. And communication for that has to be verbal. You have to be able to talk, and that there are times when these conversations can take a really long time. It's not just one conversation or two conversations.
So just taking from there, and one thing that you missed out is even intimacy, talking about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes,
right?
yes.
So I totally understand. Yes, they have to be verbalized. And in fact, on And We Met, we do provide a service where there are singles and people who are in a relationship come and talk to us on how should we communicate. And these are people who are from the finest schools in the world, to heading strategy, to CXOs. They're doing, but when it comes to relationship,
Emotional intelligence.
yeah, and also, but that's one part, right? That's between the couple. Amongst Indians, and please correct me, right? I think it's families coming together more than the two people coming together. So So how does one deal with that is also something which we don't talk about. So we get all the degrees and everything, right? But these are conversations we don't have.
I'm going to take a break and come back. But that is actually what I wanted to talk about, is the family as a unit and how it's being redefined by this Gen Alpha that actually doesn't even want to own a house, let alone live with parents, in-laws. They just don't want any commitments. Marriage is also something they are okay to do without. They think they can have first is to get your career in order or get experiences rather than be tied down. What we call roots, they call being stuck and tied down. So that's something I want to discuss, but after a quick break. Hello and welcome back to We Women Want. We are here discussing relationships, equations, cutting across generations. Really, our generation really is still one that we will look after our parents. We will have a unit, and most of us have kids. And we have what was the earlier traditional family. Today's kids, nuclear families. They don't want families. They don't want kids.
Be tied down.
They think kids are too expensive. That's what my last panel said. So. To maintain. So, how do you see in terms of relationship and commitment of the Gen Next, Gen Alpha?
So I think it is very important because we all come from that school of thought that, like we said, that in a relationship, even the families have to, have let and involved. The Gen
Like your son, for instance, does he have the same ideas as you?
I think so, because I have really worked on it. I have really worked on this value system that he comes with that, like he's abroad, but he knows he has to come back for his family and for this thing that he has to be.
So what I would like to say over here, Priya, is, sorry. So what I'd like to say is that, it's not that they don't want. It has changed, right? So like whilst we were growing up, we were told that by 21 you need to get married, right? There was a set thing. Today also people do want to be in relationship. Love is something which will never go away. Okay, to have your own person will not go away. But what happened was, I think in our generation, we were also told that you get married and you get married once and you get stay married for life.
Stay married.
And what has happened is,
They have no
so
choice.
in that, not all marriages or all families were healthy and happy. And that impacted the children. And so they question it, because I see that we have about 10,000 members on And We Met. And I was just telling her when we were coming here that 99% want to get married. And we have got people from the age of 28 to 65, even people in 40s and 50s. I'm saying 98% want to still get married.
Yeah, but my question is, sorry.
I think there's a difference between a 20-year-old wanting to get married and a 40-year-old, because by 40 you realize what you're missing out on.
Correct.
So that difference is there. And yeah, sorry, you wanted to ask about the relationships. I think that
I just wanted to also ask the same question to Namrata. Is say maybe her son is 24, so a generation before him, these kids, girls also, they say our priorities are maybe financial independence, having a child, and then marriage.
absolutely,
they don't need the old familiar setup.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, this is cross the board. What I'm seeing is that the girls, the boys also, they, plants are your new pets and your pets are your new babies. People are really not wanting to have kids, and that's a fact. They keep saying that, oh, it's very expensive, or there's a lot of commitment. I think, I don't know whether I would call it selfish of this generation, but I think they are more clued into what they want. And they're very sure if they don't want to have a baby, they're not having a baby for the correct reason. They're not having a baby because their mothers told them have a baby, or they're not having a baby because there's family pressure. They're having a baby because they want to have a baby. And then when they do, they give full commitment to that. So I think there's a very different view of that. Also, I think for us, when we all were getting married, or when we were in relationships, or when we were in that kind of frame of mind, we were all in that frame where, okay, you meet somebody, you meet the one person, and then you go ahead. But today, the kids say, why should I meet one person and why should I get stuck to that person? I don't know whether this is my perfect fit. And they actually experiment till they find their perfect fit. And I think it's fantastic, because a lot of people in my generation, in our generation, are in marriages or in relationships that they really never wanted to be. and they're stuck in that relationship. And so I think is definitely, that is definitely a good part of it. As far as the family is concerned, I can't say for a lot of the kids, but from what I see around around my kids and around their friends, they do spend a lot of time with their family. And when I say family, means immediate family. It's your nuclear family, it could be your grandparents, it could be your siblings, but they do spend a lot of time together.
The onus lies on us, right? So in our generation, I mean, to provide with that value system.
The value system has changed. That's
It is changing.
It is
Yeah,
changing.
it's changing.
But it's changing only in 1 or 2% of India right now.
It is still prevalent.
Very
And
much so.
having kids, as you said, as Namita was mentioning, is also quite dependent on, when you want to settle down, what age, and the kind of lifestyle you lead. Especially women, the biggest problem today is their lifestyle that they're leading and the hormonal imbalances. And even if they want to have a kid, they're not able to have one. And then that leads to a depressive phase, and like a state of mind.
talking, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought I can pitch in that.
No, please do. Yeah.
So, it's so important to actually balance it out, so to understand and to prioritize any relationship. And if you are going into one, like I'm sure Shalini has been helping a lot of those people there. But then for women, it is also very important to have kids. To have a physical balance if she's wanting to have one, that is.
Yeah, but I'm seeing a lot of women are not having kids out of choice. And that is what we are seeing now.
That is another reason why
Their career will take a hit.
Yeah.
Or,
Or it's a responsibility. But I think it's both. I would say, I can talk about what I'm seeing on AnviMet. I would say 20% of women don't want to have children, but 80% still want to have children. And they
AnviMet is a generation ahead. It's 28 plus. I'm talking about 18 plus.
And the younger kids, right now, a lot of them.
Yeah, because they haven't reached this stage.
Some want to have kids even without having a marriage. So it's, see, there's raising there.
And they're going to sperm bank. They're going to sperm bank. So many people who've done
Yeah, so that is so important, So this is also a very good change, actually.
Absolutely.
That you don't have to go through that physical distress. Or that, that trauma of, thinking that, oh, I'm losing out on time.
Yeah, I don't have a man in my life.
I have a man in my life, and I'm getting older.
Absolutely.
Like what I was talking just before that.
Correct.
But with that comes along the side effects of IVF also. And the hormones that are, injected. So all these things you have to balance out. It's not just one thing which is right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not a natural.
It's not a natural way of
This thing, because there was, yeah, whatever our grandparents or parents said, at this age get married, this age have child, because there is a biological clock, there is some reason in that. But Namita, what I'm finding is really that these young kids that are coming in, they are, right now they are very happy to say, like we had in our earlier panel, she says, I don't want a family, I'll have a community. I'll have a kid, I may not, I don't need the father's support, I will have, but this community and all, they don't have a commitment to look after you, like your immediate family does. What happens when you grow old? Or they don't think that.
No, I don't think they've gone that far thinking, and I think it's,
20 years later when you interview her, she'll say the totally opposite thing. Exactly. It's like that. It's the age thing,
No, it can't be. No, I don't think so. I don't think yet that when we were 18 and 20, I don't think we thought like that. So I think it is a mind change. And I think it is a mind change. It is more because, and I always say a lot of this is because the world has really shrunk. I mean, internet has really brought the whole world into one, small little microcosm. And I think that is where the exchange of ideas is happening. I think it's fantastic that women today are taking time out and they are spending and they are becoming the breadwinners of the family, that they are holding jobs that may pay more than their men, that they are actually saying that, listen, we are pregnant, not I am pregnant, which is a very big thing. We just had a granddaughter about 8 months ago. And it was beautiful to hear the kids say, we are pregnant. It was a little strange. And I said, I mean, how can both of you be pregnant? But it's so nice that they share the responsibility from the beginning. It is a we together, which is what I was saying, that I think as this newer generation, spend a lot of time on difficult conversations. My son is seeing somebody. I know they are also having a lot of difficult conversations, and they're getting past that difficult conversation stage so that when they come into mainstream and they do get together, whether they live together or they get married, whatever it is, that they actually come to a point that they have already gone past that. I remember when I got married, I had dated my husband for about maybe 9 months or 10 months. And I had never had one difficult conversation with him. So when we started and when we grew up, he's about 9 years older than I am, but when we started growing up a little bit more, money was a conversation that we couldn't have for a very long time. It was a very awkward conversation to have. And I find my kids are being able to have these conversations a lot easier.
I'll tell you where the difference is, and this is what my thinking is. I think earlier women weren't asked to be financially independent, right? It was done that men are going to be the bread earners and the women will be the homemakers. What is happening now is little girls and younger girls are also being groomed or being told, the conversations at home are happening, that you need to be financially independent. However, I don't know if boys are being asked to do that. You need to do house chores as well. So I think that's where the clash is also coming in.
Good point. But it's interesting to see, the Gen Alpha or whatever, Gen Z coming up from our point of view also. And I think at best time, we are the best vantage because we've seen the old, we are seeing the new, and we are very comfortable where we are. I think
making the most of both the situations.
best place to be in, really. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching this show. We'll see you again same time next week.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.